dim and the red curtain starts to rise, and the scene is set as a bright and cheery town filled with actors singing and dancing. But in the commotion, you almost miss the main actress's entrance. And in a Broadway theater production, this would be a failure on the spotlight's part, to highlight the main actor and keep them as the focus. As an operator, this can happen if you're not invested in the show as much as you should be. I grew up around the theater productions of Litchfield because my siblings were in many, and I've been a spotlight operator many times myself. I always find theater interesting and very exciting. Now, 11 people out of our class have said they've been to a play in the last month that they've enjoyed. These people are part of the 47 million Americans stated in a survey by the AMS Planning and Research Corp that they said they've attended a live theater event. Spotlights are important to people's enjoyment of a theater production for many reasons, being that they create a focus on the actors, the rightful stars of the show. They identify them as a source of sound, and they add to the mood by using color and lighting contrast. The main job of a spotlight is to keep focus on the actors, which shouldn't be too hard as it's a very bright circle of light. And it's not hard if you know what you're doing. If done well, a spotlight can add a lot to a show, but if, for example, the spotlight's out of place, or if they're moving around too jerkily, it can be kind of disastrous. In Stephen Shelley's article, A Practical Guide to the Stage Lighting, there's scientific observation that confirms the eye is attracted to movement. In Shelley's article, there's other research that also states there's a connection between visibility and between sound. The spotlight takes these two concepts and mashes them into one. By making a circle of light, it attracts the audience's attention and directs their focus. It identifies the actor as a source of sound and lets them be heard a little more. In Harry C. Box's article, A Set Light Technician's Handbook for Film Light Equipment Practice and Electrical Distribution, there are 3 main points to keeping focus on the actor. 1, always keep the actor's face lit. 2, don't spill light onto the curtain, backdrop, or other performers. And 3, keep your movements as smooth as possible. The knowledge that the eye is attracted to movement and that bright light helps us see better is intuitive. We've learned this from a young age. But where's the proof behind a connection between visibility and sound? My example for you guys today is the McGurk effect. Essentially, what a McGurk effect is one sense, your sight, is influenced by another, your hearing. So John McGotney and Michael Bookamp's article, Noisy Encoding of the Disparity Model of the McGurk Effect, they explain when we watch a speaker, we look at their mouth and body language and combine that with the audio of their voice to understand them and to recognize what they're saying quicker. So I'm gonna have a video here, and what I want you guys to do is watch the first 2 clips more, and for the 3rd clip, watch and then look away and then watch a little more.
Ba, 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 ba.
So this is where you watch and then look away.
Ba, 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 ba.
So what happened? In the first video, you might have heard ba. While in the second video, while you were watching, you would have heard va or fa. And in the third video, while you were watching him, you would have heard fa or va. And while you looked away, you heard ba. The reason is behind this is that he's really saying ba in all three videos, but a video of him mouthing a different consonant is pasted over. This shows that there is a huge difference between what we hear and what we are seeing. Visuals affect other things as well, such as emotion. In Robert Weinhardt Kent's review, Dusky, Stark, and Versatile, Rob quotes that lights are to drama as lyrics are to a song. No other factor that enters into the production of a play is so effective in conveying its mood and feelings. Lyrics aren't necessary for a good song, but they add a ton into the meaning and to the understanding of a song. The same way is for lighting. If two actors are acting out a love scene, even if doing it perfectly, we might not get the full feeling of it. But when added a pink soft light, that feeling may be there. In Lisa Wilm and Daniel Obefield's article, Color and Emotion, Effect of Hue, Saturation, and Brightness, it explains that light with the longer wavelengths, so your red colors, bring higher interest than a lower or shorter wavelength, your blues and purples. So your bright reds, your yellows, and your oranges will catch people's attention more than your blues and your purples, which are more of a mellow color. Color's not the only thing that adds moods. A scientific study called Recognizing Emotion in Facial Efficiency in Acute Tripolartin Depletion and Bright Light by Marie Ann Hott et al. It tells us that it's hard for people to understand harder facial emotions such as anger, fear, and disgust when it's in dim light. So when an actor is in a spotlight, those harder emotions and their body language are more able to be understood. So now I told you about the importance of focus on the main actor and how they've made them the source of sound and adds to the mood and with brightness and color. The curtain's gonna close, the lights of the house come on, and you go out for handshakes and hugs with your friends. I just want you to remember the crew in all black who tried to add a little more to your theater production. Thank you for listening to my speech.